Hey all you wonderful Power Appers, welcome back to another video here at Power Apps Academy, where we can bring you really interesting tutorials around Power Apps. And today we are going to be talking about input validation. So that is, let's say you have a form and you want to capture data from people, but you want to minimize the risk of rubbish inputs, right? Rubbish in, rubbish out type of thing. So if you ask for an email address, you want to make sure you get in email address format. If you want to ask for a date, you want to make sure that you're getting the date in the right format, because when you suck that data into your form, you don't want to have inconsistent data, because that makes issues with reporting. So input validation is really important to getting your data exactly how you want it. So this video is going to give you some tips around how you can achieve that in Power Apps. Before we jump into it, let's just head over to our partner over at powerappify.com. Head over there if you want to check out some really cool business templates that you can download. Also, if you need help with your Power Apps or training, anything like that, hit those guys up over there and they'll be more than happy to help you. Right, I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing today before we actually do a live demo on how to do it. Right, 1 second. Right, before we dive into demo, just a reminder guys, please smash up that like button. That really helps the channel. If we don't get loads of likes, then YouTube doesn't share our channel, and we want to grow and bring these videos to as much people as possible. So I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button right now, and also if you could subscribe and get notifications, hit the notification button, and then you'll get notifications every time we publish great content like this. So right, let's have a quick look at this demo screen. This is what we're going to be doing today. You can see over here I've got a enter email address field. Normally this might just be a normal field, but you can see over here let's put some random email address, barry@google.com. Yeah, oh, you can see I've got a little checkbox there. That means it's validated the email address. It's noted that it's in the correct format, and it'll go on. The next one is asking me to enter my birth date, month, day, year format. Let's put it in day, month, year format, which is incorrect. Let's say we're doing that by mistake. Wow, you can see it's gone red because I've put day, month, year instead of month, day, year. Okay, so let's just update that. So 23rd of the 12th, 1988. Oh, I've done it again, sorry. 12th of the 23rd, 1988. There we go. Let's set it up, and you can see if I remove the @ sign here, what happens? It goes back to red. Okay, so that's what it's doing here. Is it's matching. It's using the IsMatch function in Power Apps, and it's also using something called Regex. Now Regex is beyond the scope of this video. You can go and look it up. It's a way of articulating specific formats using a syntax which is called Regex. It's really you can do loads with it, lots of complicated stuff, but it's easy just to look up if you're doing simple things like email addresses and birth dates, and you can see there's other use cases: phone number validation, postcodes, password length checking, looking for specific words or characters in your fields. Then just look it up and you can just copy and paste it in. So I'll give you a couple of examples today, and then you can take it away and do some more research if you've got some more complicated requirements. Okay, so let's hop into the step-by-step tutorial. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do initially is I'm going to just create all the fields that I need. So we're going to need a label times 2. I'm just going to make that white in color so I can see it on the black background, and I'm going to copy and paste that. Oh, there we go, copy and paste that. So one is going to say enter email address. Okay, and the other one is going to say enter your birth date, and then we'll put the format required, month, day, year. Okay, and then we'll just stretch that out a little bit, and we'll stretch that out a little bit. If we want to make them line up, make it look pretty, we can just do that, and same on this one, and then we can line them up. Okay, cool. And then we want some text boxes. So text input, this is where we're going to put our text into. So we'll have one, and we'll have another one down here. Okay, and then we are going to rename this, because we just want to keep it consistent with what we're doing, easy to reference. So text, this is email address, and this one we'll call text underscore birth date. Cool. Alright, so we got that, and then we want to have a little checkbox. Check. We'll put that over there. We want it to be green. Select green. Shrink it up a little bit so it's not too big. There we go. On there. And Control C and V. We want another one there. And then we want a label. So text label, just to say over here. We want it to be like a ready color, like a message color, and we want that to say requires valid email format, and then this one I'm going to go Control C V, and over here we want to go requires valid date format. Okay, so we've got the basics there. Now I'm just going to remove the default text in there just so it's blank. Remove that. Cool. Alright, so what we need to do is go to the on change. So let me just find it on here quickly. Oops. So on change, on the text box, so if we go into here, drop this down, and we find the on change property. So what this does is every time the value in this field changes, it will run this bit of code. Okay, and that's where we want to put our logic, because when we type in and we move off the field, it's going to do the syntax checker or the input validation check, and then we're going to set a variable, and then we're going to apply that variable to a few things, which is going to notify us if we've got the user, if they have the right input or not. Okay, so I am going to use the if statement. Okay, so we want to go if IsMatch, this is the IsMatch function that we use. You can see it comes up over there. If IsMatch, and we want to go text, our text box for email address dot text. So if IsMatch of our text box here, if it matches comma here, now I'm going to copy and paste this, because this is the regex pattern that we're going to do for email addresses. And you can look this up. This is just a standard one for formatting of emails. Okay, I'm not going to go into it because it's a little bit complicated, out of the scope of this, but if you want to do some more research into regex, do go and look it up on Google. There's lots of videos and tutorials on it, and if people are interested, we can do a more in-depth one in another video. Okay, so what we're doing is here, if there is a match between the regex format and what's in our text box here, then if it's true, then we want to set, which means it matches the expected input validation. Then we're going to set a variable we're going to create. I create all my variables using var underscore, and then we just valid email, just so it makes sense to us. So set a variable called valid email to true. Okay. Or if it doesn't meet our regex format, which means it's not in a valid email address format, then we're going to set it to false. Same valid email, okay, to false. Okie dokie. Cool. I think we missing close brackets. Okay, cool. So so now we've got these variables that have been set depending on whether it matches or not, which means we can now apply these to a few things that we want to do over here. So one is on this tick box, we want to go to the visible property. Okay, the visible property, and we want to, instead of setting this to true, we want to set it to var email, is it valid email, right? Because if it's a true valid email, then we want it to it'll set visible to true, and that checkbox will be true. And the other one we are going to set to the opposite. Now I don't know if you know about this, but the variable is either going to be true or false. Okay, so we can always do the opposite of whatever our variable is set to. Okay, so blank. So let's just talk through that. So if our text here matches the input we expect, i.e. it being an email address, then it will set a variable to true. Okay, if it matches, set a variable to true. We've now set the tick box that was next to it, its visible property, to the variable. So if it's true, then the checkbox visible property will also be true, and this will be the opposite of true, which is false. Okay, so we're using a little bit of trickery there to show or not show these different things that we want to. So let's just test that out. So I'm going to go Barry at Google. So it won't put com in any. That's an incorrect format. You can see that's not. But if I got com at the end and they go off, now you can see I've got a little tick box that says yes, that's the right format, and the warning has gone away. I think we also did. We had some color going on, right? So you can also, just to make it clearer to the person who's inputting the data that they've made an error, we can also do some coloring, which is the fill property. So we go back to the text box and we go on the fill property. There it is. So we use if. A lot of ifs going on, guys. If you don't know the if statement, go back. I've got some videos somewhere. Check it out. Or there's lots of stuff on the internet around if statements. Really important Power Apps. Always using if statements. So do get familiar with nested ifs, and there's loads of different switches and ifs and really important stuff. Okay, so if var, the variable I created around valid email. Okay, so if var email is true, okay, then we want to go color dot white, and if it's false, So if statements always look for true or false, and you know that when we set our variables, it was either going to be true, it did match the format, or false. So that's why this var here is either going to be true or false. Okay, so and an if statement always looks for true or false, so we don't have to say it's equal to anything because it's just going to be true or false. So so if it's true, it's going to be white, the fill, and if it's false, it's going to be color dot red. Okay, cool. So you can see it's true, but we also, because let's say if we go into it now and we just blank it out, let's say someone just trying to fill in the form, they actually haven't filled it in and it's all red. We don't want it to be red initially, only if they've started typing and it's incorrect. So the way we get around that is we can say, so if that is true or false, or if is blank, and is blank just checks if something has no text in it, then you can use this is blank function to check for that, and then the text box is called text email address dot text. Right, cool. So if this text box is blank, then it will also be white. So if it's true, or if that text box is blank, then it'll be white. Otherwise, it's going to be red. Cool. So let's test that out. So Barry at Google, forgot to put the .com. There we can see it says there's an error there. Put it in the .com. There we go. Input validation 100%. Right, that's what we want to see. Right, if you want to work through another quick example, let's just do that quickly. This time it's the date one. Alright, let's go back into it. So it's going to be very similar, except we're going to have a date. So let's just go, what did we copy in here? So what can you remember what the property is that we used? Yes, on change. Okay, so when it's on change, oh gosh, let's just copy this, make it easier so we don't have to type it out. Click in here, back to the on change. There we go. So paste it in there. This time we don't want to do email address, we want to do our birth date. So birth date dot text, and we don't want to be checking for email address syntax. We want to be doing date syntax. So let's just have a look at what this is. Please bear with me. Right. So this format is like this, and again I said don't worry about understanding this regex too much. A lot of it you can look up and just copy and paste it into your code. Right, this is the one we're going to use for the dates, so it's going to check the formats of the dates, make sure that the days and months are in the right place. The way it does it is just it allows certain numbers, and obviously, you know, if it's going above 12, then it's going to be it's going to be in the days, not the months. Okay, so this is basically what it's doing, and making sure that it's numbers and no text or letters in there. Right, and then we don't want to use the same variable because that's for the email. So this, valid, this is going to be date. We want to create a new variable for date, valid date. Okay, so if isMatch birth date, if it matches the input validation regex, then it will set this variable valid date to true, otherwise it'll set it to false. And then we go exactly like we did with the other one. We want to set this visible to var our valid date. And who remembers how we do the inverse for this one? the visibility of this. We want it to be opposite to the valid date. So we'll put var valid date, and to switch it so it's opposite to var valid date, that's right, we put a exclamation mark at the beginning. Okay, that just swaps it around. And then the color, we can just copy and paste that we use the fill property of the text box, because we want to get the colors right. So we can copy and paste that in here. Get on to fill. There we go. Just overwrite what's in there. Control V. Remember, we're not using email, we're using date. And don't forget to change this one as well. Text box birth date dot text. Cool. Right, let's check it out. Okay, so months, we know we can't do higher than 12 on month, so this should be incorrect. 2000. There we go. It's wrong. It's gone red. Let's swap those around. 12, 22. There we go. Alright, everyone, I hope you found that really useful. Just remember, data is really important, and make sure you get data in the right format. You don't want junk being put in, because if people just put some other thing that's not an email address in your email address field, especially when you're capturing email addresses and they might be really important inputs into a flow, you can do it that way, or you can even select from your directory where they have to select an email address. Again, birth dates, you want to get the right dates in the same format. You don't want to have different formats, because trying to fix that later is always going to be a pain. So just remember, getting all that data exactly how you want it is really important, and this is a way of achieving it. And it's very powerful. I've only just scratched the surface with this. Lots of options in the way you can check for specific data. You can also use IsMatch to find certain words and then do things with it. So very powerful function. Hope you guys learned a lot. Don't forget to smash up the likes, join our channel, join our community over on Facebook. Link in the video description. Thanks for watching. Catch up with you soon. Bye for now.